Hi, and welcome to HAVENLIGHT. I'm Emily Cano, and today we're going to talk about Mary Magdalene, the most misunderstood teacher of the awakening path. But first, please take a slow, deep breath in with me. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let your heart come forward. And if you feel safe to do so, place one hand on your heart, one hand on your lower belly or womb space. Not for symbolism, but for remembrance. Before we talk about Mary Magdalene, before we talk about history and distortion and awakening, I want us to arrive into the part of you that hears truth deeper than your mind ever could. Breathe into that center. Let your inhale rise into your heart. Let your exhale melt down into your belly. You are here. You are safe. You are held. And I invite the Magdalene presence, the lineage, the memory, the wisdom of the woman who refused to be erased to sit with us now. May these words be spoken with clarity, humility, truth, and compassion. May every woman listening remember something real about herself. And may every man listening remember the sacred feminine as it was always meant to be honored. Take one more breath. When you're ready, let's begin. So here's why Mary Magdalene matters now. All around the world, women are waking up. Not quietly, not softly, not comfortably, but in waves, in fire, in grief, in clarity, in remembrance. This isn't random. This isn't accidental. This isn't astrology or coincidence. This is the return of the Magdalene frequency. For nearly 2,000 years, feminine intuition, feminine embodiment, feminine authority, and feminine wisdom have been suppressed, distorted, or dismissed. Magdalene rises when the world cannot survive without balance. And right now, humanity is starving for balance. Jesus awakened consciousness. Magdalene anchored it. Jesus taught the kingdom. Magdalene taught embodiment. Jesus taught love. Magdalene taught emotional integration. Jesus taught truth. Magdalene taught how to live that truth in the body. Her story is returning now because the world is finally ready to hear her. And many of you listening are feeling the same stirrings. You feel misunderstood. You feel your intuition getting louder. You're craving depth, honesty, embodiment. You're shedding old versions of yourself. You're awakening who you are. You're waking up spiritually and emotionally. You're feeling that inner fire rise. This is what Magdalene walked. This is what she taught. And this is what you're remembering. So here's the real Magdalene versus the church's version. When most people hear Mary Magdalene, they picture a label that was never hers. In 591 AD, 600 years after she lived, Pope Gregory delivered a sermon that combined three unrelated women and declared Magdalene a prostitute. Scripture never said that. Jesus never said that. The early church never said that. It was political, it was intentional, and it reshaped the spiritual consciousness of the Western world. Historically and textually, Magdalene was Jesus' close spiritual companion, a leader among the disciples, a woman who understood his teachings deeply, the first witness to the resurrection, a teacher of the inner path, a carrier of feminine wisdom and embodiment, the one the male disciples turned to for guidance. She wasn't erased because she was unimportant. She was erased because she was too important. because feminine spiritual authority is threatening to systems who build on control. When Magdalene was diminished, humanity lost feminine wisdom, embodied spirituality, intuitive leadership, emotional intelligence, balance, inner union, the path of integration. We've been trying to awaken with half the story missing. That's why her truth matters now. Magdalene didn't teach awakening as a concept. She taught it as a path, an embodied, emotional, spiritual journey. Where Jesus illuminated the nature of God, Mary Magdalene illuminated the nature of the inner temple. He awakened consciousness. She anchored embodiment. He taught revelation. She taught integration. He taught divine love. She taught divine union, the inner masculine and feminine coming into balance. Her teachings centered around sovereignty, intuition, emotional honesty, embodiment, compassion, direct connection to God, integration of shadow, inner union, remembrance. She taught people how to live truth, not just believe it. And that is why she was misunderstood, because she guided people back to their own authority. If there's one part of Mary Magdalene's teaching the early church feared the most, it was her understanding of the feminine body. She taught the womb as a center of intuition, a receiver of divine guidance, a place where trauma is held and healed, a gateway of discernment, a spiritual anchor, a barometer of truth, a generator of inner wisdom. She taught women to return to their bodies, to stop abandoning themselves, and to listen to the wisdom God placed inside them. A woman connected to her womb is a woman connected to truth. That's why this teaching was erased, not because it was irrelevant, but because a woman grounded in her body cannot be controlled. Her practices were simple: presence, breath, touch, voice, frequency. She taught women to feel again and to trust what they felt, because the body knows long before the mind understands. Magdalene and Jesus, the union that was never meant to be hidden. Their connection wasn't a romance to sensationalize or a conspiracy to unravel. It was a partnership, a spiritual union of masculine and feminine working together to model divine balance. He carried the masculine codes of truth, clarity, revelation, presence. She carried the feminine codes of intuition, embodiment, compassion, and emotional wisdom. Together, they demonstrated what it looks like to embody Christos Sophia consciousness. Their partnership threatened the early church because it showed women could lead. Women carried revelation. Spirituality didn't require hierarchy. God speaks to and through both genders. Balance is holy. Union is sacred. Their connection was not a scandal. It was a teaching, a living illustration of inner union for all humanity. There are 7 Magdalene Initiations. The first is identity. Who am I beyond what the world told me? The second is desire. My longing is holy. The third is embodiment. Truth must be lived in my body. The fourth is shadow. I face what I once feared. The fifth is union. My inner masculine and feminine reconcile. The sixth is voice. I speak the truth I carry. The seventh is I become the teaching. These 7 initiations mirror the exact path every awakened woman walks through today. Magdalene wasn't giving dogma. She was guiding transformation. Let's say this clearly and gently. Mary Magdalene was never a prostitute. That label was created hundreds of years later for political reasons. The real Magdalene was a teacher, a leader, a companion, an initiate, the apostle to the apostles, the most spiritually mature disciple, a woman who anchored feminine wisdom and embodiment. Correcting this narrative isn't just historical, it's healing. Because when women learn the truth about her, they stop apologizing for their sensitivity, their intuition, their emotional depth, their spiritual authority, and their calling. Her restoration is the restoration of the feminine. Magdalene speaks to the woman who feels misunderstood, to the woman who feels too much, to the woman wounded by religion, to the woman who loves deeply, to the woman who loves or feels a calling, the woman who is emotionally awakening, the woman arising from her own ashes. Her message is simple. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. Your intuition is not rebellion. Your heart is not weakness. You are awakening. You are remembering. You are rising. Awakening always begins with a breaking. Something collapses in your life and nothing feels stable anymore. Then comes the searching, where you question everything and feel your spirit waking up. Then the fire, where old patterns burn and your body reacts and your intuition intensifies. Then the remembering, where you start to return to who you actually are. Then the calling, the tug inside your chest that says, there's something I'm meant to do. And finally, the rising. Not because everything is perfect, but because you finally see the truth. I didn't break. I transformed. This is the path. This is Magdalene's story. This is your story. Here's practical Magdalene medicine. There's the Magdalene breath. So you put your hand on your heart, your hand on your belly. Breathe in through your heart. Breathe out, womb, womb, in through the heart. So in, out, out, in. In, out, out, in. I can't do it right. Anyway, so then there's also the Magdalene check-in. Is this opening me or constricting me? Then journaling prompts. Where am I abandoning myself? What truth am I hearing in my body? What boundary do I need? Or you could take a candle, light it, and look into the flame and say, God, show me what's true. Release what isn't mine. Anchor me in clarity. Here's also discernment questions. Does it give me peace or pressure? Expansion or collapse? God or fear? Compassionate boundaries, love without losing yourself. And here's some morning reminders. My sensitivity is a gift. My intuition is holy. I honor who I'm becoming. Before you go, breathe with me. You were never the broken one. You were the doorway. You are not too much. You are not behind. You are awakening. You are remembering. You are rising. You are so deeply seen and so deeply guided in ways you don't even realize. Let this settle into your spirit. I'm awakening. I am remembering. And I'm ready to rise. Thank you for being here with me today. If this spoke to you, you can join me for an Insights and Clarity session. The link is in the description. If you want to support the work, you can do that through Buy Me a Coffee. That link is also in the description. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss Lesson 9. And actually, Lesson 9 will be called Reclaim Your Voice, the Spiritual Power of Speaking Your Truth. And if someone in your life is going through their own awakening, share this with them. Thank you for trusting me with your path. Thank you for walking this path with me. Until next time, take care of your heart Stay grounded in your body. And remember, you are awakening, you are remembering, and you are rising. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.